Morning, everybody. I'm very excited today. We've got the great Michelle Martin from the Star Alliance team in the Mighty Martin Bay shop who's going to talk to us about the financial wellness seminars that she's been using to not only generate more business for herself and her team, but also to open new markets. And you know, I'm having her talk this morning because we always say that you learn, you got to do the business to learn it instead of learning it to do it. You know, I think of everybody on the team. I think she's done the most financial wellness seminars, and so I asked her to come in and do this for us. I'm really just so proud. I've really watched a lot of the personal growth. Michelle has been in and around the business for 17 years, but has worked with Gary and Coletta now for about the last 4 years on putting her business together up in the Santa Rosa area. And she's got a large securities license team now. They really are doing probably the best job in the hierarchy on her team of getting people just like securities licensed. And so anyway, just wow, sorry. So she is a near-term regional vice president, near-term $50,000 watch earner, and going to do a great job this morning. Welcome to the webinar, Michelle.
Thank you, Cheryl. Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good, good. Hey, I know that you sort of are from the Santa Rosa area, but I know that you're also working up in the Fort Bragg area. What other areas do you work in?
Right now we're covering Arcata, which is by Humboldt State. We have Fort Bragg. We have Reno. We just opened up into Tahoe. We have a big clientele base opening in Chester, which is not too far from Tahoe. We cover Santa Rosa. We're covering San Francisco this morning. We have 5 reps in San Francisco this morning doing something there. And I just want to own the North Bay. That's all.
Awesome, awesome. Well, the reason I wanted to say that, if anybody's listening and has people in that area, a lot of times those are areas where we don't have offices yet. And, when they know they've got somebody of your caliber there, it makes a difference. So why don't you go on ahead and take it away and talk to us about, your experience and what you've learned with these financial wellness seminars.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm very excited to share this with you. What I know is it's an opportunity of a lifetime to be in league with people like Cheryl and Gary and Coletta Martin. And as we go through this evolution of what financial wellness is and where it came from, I want you to know we've been doing this for a really long time with their leadership and their guideposting. So we used to call it the How Many Works Seminar. That's what I used to name it. And it started out when I came back from taking care of my mom for a lot of years. When I came back, the first thing I did was hire a bunch of people, and I happened to hire a lady who worked in Marin County. Her name was Margie, and she worked in the county lab, and what she cared about was people. And she said, I want you to come down and, have a lunch and learn. I want you to teach all the people I work with. I think, we're all worried about retirement, and we're worried we're not going to have it. And what are we going to do? So I went down there, and, I did maybe a 30-minute lunch and learn, and today we call it a financial wellness workshop, but back then we called it a lunch and learn because Gary taught me, and it really worked out. It's a How Many Works seminar, and from that we made a $290,000 trade, and we got a recruit. And I'll tell you what, I was scared to death. I was scared to death. I didn't know that this thing was going to work. I was afraid that they knew more about life than I knew because they've been around a little bit longer. But what I knew was just talking to them, they didn't know the Rule 72, and they didn't know if they were going to retire. And you can see that Diane Bowman is one of our strongest allies. These are some results of what can happen if you'll be willing to go out there and try something new. We also have over here, that Jacqueline Mora, starting out in Arcata, and really just teaching a little bit about what could be possible for a little salon owner. What could be possible. She called me up last week and said, okay, I talked to my tax consultant, and he said that I need to invest about $1,200. Can you help me? Absolutely. Absolutely. Today's $1,200, but you know what? Tomorrow it could be 50 grand. And I just know that I'm super proud of business owners in our community because they really reach out. Our team, Jennifer Welch, she goes into all kinds of places. She'll go into a health center. She'll go into a church. She went to Nevada Nurses Association. They had 140 attendees. 28 people chose to attend our class. They got credits for doing that towards their nursing license for educational credits. And what I can tell you is from that, she got 4 clients. She did 4 trades totaling $40,000.
Wow.
She's gotten referrals. That's such an amazing blessing to go out there and to go
Michelle, let me jump in for just 1 second. Now, Jennifer Welch is on your team, right? How did she get the contact for the Nevada Nurses Association?
She's a nurse.
Okay.
And so she has a good friend. Her name is Candy. Candy.
Yep. So it was her natural market then, where she worked, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good.
It was a former boss. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So that is the natural market. It's really not all about, going into a cold market. It's about following Rita Huckle's supreme example of making a list. The first thing you do is you make a list of 25 of your most favorite businesses around town. Just like we do a war market list, our most favorite people. And we say, look, if you want to make sure that those businesses have a chance to continue and prosper and be there when you need them, we got to get down there and talk to them. We got to get down there and help them out, and that's the way we look at that. And so, it's an excellent point with Diane Bowman. She's very strong in her faith. She reaches out to a number of churches, senior centers, all kinds of places. She's really the one that spearheaded this in the very beginning. And she's not afraid to talk to anyone about it. I couldn't be more proud of her. And we're raising up a whole generation of people that, when we say this stuff to them, it's normal. Well, we've always done that because they came into the business at a time when we do. And I'm really excited about that. So why does it work? It really works for a couple reasons. Number one, it reaches right into the heart of middle America. We're a middle American income company. That's where we go. And so we've got to be in there in the heart of their fight every day. We fight right alongside of them. We add value to a business owner. If their asset is their business, that's their dream. If you think of Gary and Coletta Martin and you think of, how close they are, that they live every day together and that they're a blessing to each other, imagine a business owner that maybe has a different kind of business. I think everyone should be a Primerican, but maybe not everybody agrees with that. So what we've got to do is we've got to go out there and show them how to win with money, how to win with this asset they grew, how to run a profitable company, how does money work. These are incredible opportunities. Plus, it forms instant credibility because that owner, by talking to us, immediately puts us in a leadership role in front of their employees and says, these are the ones I trust. These are the ones I want to help you. And it allows full diversification of all of your product lines. One of the blessings of always watching Cheryl and always learning from Lynette Carey is they say, don't leave money on the table. Don't leave a family unprotected. Don't leave a family suffering. And so we have this to show full diversification of all product lines. And you can also recruit the owner. Rita Huckle has a supreme example. Owners like diversified income. That's the world view. That's how people that have wealth, they're attracted to more of it because they can do more in the world. And so what I know is we've got to teach them how to diversify their income just in case they're in a select field, like maybe only snowboards is all they market. We got to have something going on in the summertime. So this is talking about recruiting owners and also, making recommendations and saying, I'm going to leave your employees. These are your employees. However, since I'm expanding, would you mind if I talk to the spouses or maybe the recommendations that are made to me in the community about working with me? They're going to have no issue with that, not at all. In fact, they're going to consider it a blessing because that's an ability to put someone else to work in the community. What I also know is this really does, if you do it right, if you do it the way that it's taught by Chris Royce, it's supreme. What I can tell you is it's going to be an educational approach. It's not going to be greasy, salesy, pushy. It's going to be a real natural, let's talk about this. Let's make sure your employees are feeling good when they come to work and be more productive for you. Let's alleviate some of the stress you're having as an owner. Let's make this fun. Let's make this happy. Plus, it's going to create a sustainable, consistent source of daytime activity. It also opens up new markets for reps, as you mentioned earlier. Cheryl, I think it's exactly the right thing. We do offer monthly and quarterly classes because, you know, we want to build that relationship with those owners. We want them to see us as being people that are going to be here. You can see here there's a picture of the resources available on POL. You go into the Download Center. That's one way you can access videos, materials. It's under Financial Wellness Seminar and Programs. What I also looked at was watching people do it. And so you can see right here there's a number of workshops, there's videos, and I can't recommend this enough. I've scoured them. I love them. I'm addicted to them, and I want to get better. So it's good to watch that stuff. Over here, and very important, make sure that you're prospecting correctly, and I can't say it enough times, please use the material that's provided to you by the company for this venue. If you get creative, if you get off the beaten path, there's a good opportunity that you might accidentally offend the owner or be misrepresenting what we can do in this vein. So I want to make sure that you stay with what's right, go back over through the compliance and make sure that you're using the material that was provided. I really also like it because it keeps in line with our mission. Remember, our mission was to help families earn more income, and one way that we can do that is not just helping ourselves earn more income, although that's an excellent goal for us. I think that's awesome. But you got to help families, and last I checked, business owners typically do have families. We've got to earn more income. One of the ways we do that is we talk with our tax professional, and we always talk with our tax professional because we don't give tax advice, but in finding that, we're able to help them invest money, save money, protect themselves from taxes. And through that process, we create a financial needs analysis. We help them be properly protected. You know, they built an incredible business to be profitable, and so we've got to help protect that for their family. Debt freedom. You know, if they had less debt, I mean, I can't tell you how cool that debt resolution program is because it works for business owners. You know, with unsecured debt, it really can alleviate a lot of stress for them and make their life a little bit better with their employees. Financially independent, that's the dream. That's always been the dream. You know, the number one goal is, you know, I want freedom from stress and worry. I want to support my colleagues. And if you read this with me just for a minute, it says business owners, self-employed, and leaders of organizations all have families of their own, and they're supporting other families by creating and sustaining the jobs. If we understand that and we help these leaders retain more profit, reduce their expenses, lower their debts, and teach them how to create wealth for themselves, we're going to be creating a stronger business community, fulfilling our mission, right? And then, on top of that, we're going to assist the entire economy in recovery, one human at a time. You know, people tell me, I want the recovery to happen faster. Well, great. Let's go out and do more. Let's go out and talk to more people because that will definitely help. And if you follow with me here, remember, this is something I keep in front of our team all the time. I think that you've got to have a well-rounded, full-service financial brokerage. And you've always got to offer that opportunity for people that might be tapped out on how much they can earn or have reached their full potential in that career. You always got to be looking for somebody that's the right fit for you. We're looking for owners and people willing to develop and own a franchise model, something incredible like Primerica, a hub, if you will, an answer for all of the challenges that are facing Middle America today. And so that if we keep this in front of us, it's super simple to say, oh, well, while I'm here, let's see what else these employees need. Or let them tell you, this is what I need help with, you know, by way of a survey. So I'm really proud of the company for designing that. Some benefits to the employer. You know, I just can't thank Lynette enough for teaching and really training so heavily on security. She's made this possible for me. And, you know, one of the benefits that we're able now because of her work is to offer employers, organizations, public service providers, you know, we teach them about income retention, the tax deduction. You can see there's an asterisk there because, of course, we never give tax advice. But I'll tell you what, there's not a lot of meetings that my clients go to with their tax professional that I don't also attend. I want to learn too. I don't quote what I hear, but I definitely learn. The production goes up on the team. You know, the production also goes up in the employer's market. the employer spends an extra $7,000 a year per employee on average that isn't, a productive income to the employee. What I mean by that is there's so much stress that the employee is doing, they're off track on their goal for their employer, and yet the employer is accountable to pay that money. Why don't we go on ahead and reduce that stress, make that employee a little more productive, a little more solid, and make their family life better? Plus, it adds an average at the end of the year of an extra $450 profit per employee to the bottom line of the company. If you can show that to an employer, I am not an employer, but I am a businesswoman, and if you could show me numbers like that, I'm going to listen, because I want a little extra. I'm sure we all do too. Employee education, education credit opportunities. You heard about what Jennifer did for the nurses. There's all kinds of things Diane Bowman's doing right now with the Girls and Boys Club. There's a lot of things out there. Teachers need extra credit to continue their licensing, so do doctors, and they want something different. I mean, how much anatomy classes can you really take before you're done, right? So we need to get a little more financial education in there. We've got employer-sponsored benefit programs that aren't being used. I've got a client up here that, he's got 120 employees, and in their entire 401k plan, over 120 employees, they've only grown $1 million total. And I think that's a challenge. I think it's a very, it's a very unique opportunity for us to come in and help them utilize that program and teach them about, saving and making more money. Another thing is it shows compassionate leadership. It's an opportunity to diversify that owner's income. It's totally affordable because these workshops have no cost, no obligation. We have enhanced profitability for the owner, but we also have enhanced profitability for us as the person going out there. We have increased loyalty from the employees, saying, wow, my employer really cares. I kind of like working here. We just set up this 401k with Primerica. That's where we need to be looking, is long term. Over here, what are some benefits for the employees? Well, number one, financial education. If you don't understand how money works and you don't understand the money game, you just can't win. Look at what we do. This is so incredible. Company is so wise in looking and seeing, look, this is about debt. We're going to handle some debt. We're going to take care of how money works. They've got webinars for us. They've got things pre-prepared. Their thought process is in line with ours. Over here, Gary teaches the 3 rules of wealth, and I'm thankful every day because it took me about 10 days to memorize it. But once I did, it made total sense. Teaching the people, look, you know what? Practice the 3 rules of wealth. And I'm grateful for that. Looking over here, I read the IRS tax code. I know it's ugly. I know it's dry, but you know what? I want to be informed. And so I learned.
Hey, Michelle, let me just say one thing, Michelle. You have your cursor is a pointer, so you can use that on some of the things that you're doing. Yeah, people can follow you a little bit more as you're talking about stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, well, I appreciate that.
So you're not telling me you sit and read the tax code. Is that what you said?
I never sit. I never sit.
That's pretty dedicated.
But I do read it. I do read it, and I ask for good counsel with tax professionals because to be fully informed on the rights of owners. And
yeah.
I am an owner as well as you, so I don't.
Yeah, well, I know that what I've noticed on all your slides is I see you've got great documentation at the bottom that this is for internal use, not for public use, and that Primerica people are not tax advisors nor give tax advice. I see that on all your slides, but you're saying is a value added. You want to understand it so that when something comes up, you can actually refer your client to somebody who is a tax person, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. That's why I read it, because then I can say to them, have you talked to your tax advisor about the Savers credit? Or have you talked to your tax advisor about your simple IRA contribution and how they could potentially help you this year? I never do tax advice. I'm very strict about that, but I'll tell you what, it's a great idea to be able to translate.
Yeah, what is the Savers credit?
Savers credit is something that's been somewhat newly developed, I think underutilized. It's for, and I'm not giving tax advice, so if you want to read it, you can go to irs.gov, and you can read this yourself. It's on the front page. And it's really about people who are, in a lower side of the middle market, earning probably 25,000 or so. And if
Mhm.
they can set aside $1,000 in their retirement position, now not Roth, traditional or something else like this, I don't think they'll credit for the Roth, but they get it. They get a credit for that, and you can see it
Meaning
right
that
on.
meaning that they get a tax deduction. Is that what that means?
No, this one's a tax credit. This one's a
Okay, well,
tax credit.
so I'm not a tax expert. What does that mean? Tax
What that
credit.
means is the IRS considers them to be a lower tier of income. It's called the Saver's Credit, and you can see it. And what it will do is, because they're at a lower tier of income, if they can find the capacity to put away $1,000,
Right.
then the IRS will credit that they had paid $1,000 in taxes.
I got it. I got it. Okay, so that is something that, again, just a lot of times, even when you're meeting with people, and you're not going to explain, you're going to tell them to go get their tax advice, but it's one more thing that that they don't know that broadens the value gap, and that's a pretty important thing to know. I think that's awesome.
I'm really
Good.
excited.
Thanks. Go
Thank
ahead.
you. I wanted to
Yeah.
say why I brought that up and why I spend time reading it is because if you have an owner, and let's say that they have a lot of part-time employees and they're not interested in a 401k or a simple IRA, I
Right.
still wanted the ability to market IRAs. And I felt like, that's not a lot of money. It's a little bit. It's about $70 to $80 a month,
Right.
that we could help them set aside. But if we could show them on the back end, that would be pretty fantastic.
You darn right. That's great. That's awesome. That's a great tip. Thank you.
And that's the new development for me, so I'm not saying I'm 100% correct on it. I'm about 90%. I'd like to look forward to a little more, but I think it's on irs.gov. That's the only site that I ever seek for tax advice, by the way. I never, ever, ever go anywhere else.
Yeah.
Okay, so we look over here at benefits to employees continuing. There's the financial needs analysis. That thing rocks. I totally love it. It shows you exactly how to move money in every direction. And you guys know a lot about that because you have your own. What I really like is that it shows them that they've got a chance to win here. It gives them the freedom they're looking for from the stress and worry. That's really what we're about, is let's reduce that. Let's have a better quality of life. Again, coming from an educational approach, not a sales approach, a service mentality, not a pushing mentality. We improve relationships at home and at work, so you don't know, just by doing a little workshop, what impact you might be having on a child that night who, maybe their family's suffering or fighting. That child now will have a better, better quality of life. You've never even met them yet. So,
Hey, can I jump in one second on that? I'm so glad you said that. That is absolutely right. I mean, just to take the stress off of people. And I think that the one thing that we've got to remember when we go in, a lot of times, especially as we are producing new field trainers, one of the things I liked about what you said earlier is just, your culture is one now of investing, right? And it's not that you're recruiting and building. You got your recruiting is rocking, and your licensing is one of the highest ratios and stuff like that. But you have a culture of what we do is move people's money around so that they can have more money to put in their pocket and invest, because there's no way that we can be true to our mission if we're not showing them how to invest the difference, right? We're being a little bit of a fake, really, if you don't go in and set up the investment accounts, whether it's, just a regular IRA or the 3 fundamental accounts, or a FAB account or anything like that, to set that aside. And I think that we can't shortcut. Like if we're going to sit down and do the FNA, and I know that we have teams that have done a great job of really embracing. Calvin and Patricia Franklin have done a really good job in the last year of really embracing the FNA, because that is what differentiates us from everybody else. But I mean, it's absolutely crazy for us not to check every single person to see if we can save them money on their auto and home, right? To make sure they've got a will, to make sure that we're checking the debt program for them. All those little things add up to the final process of moving their money, redistributing, their money and their wealth so that you can increase their net worth. And I really love that you're doing, that part of it. That's awesome. So I just want to put that in.
Thank you very much. I really don't feel like I look at Primerica as being given a medicine bag, and in our medicine bag, if we know that we have vitamin C or we have something that could help someone like the debt resolution program, we've got to use it. We have an obligation to do that. So I'm very blessed to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I skipped one. Let's come back here just real quick here. This is really talking about teamwork. A financial wellness seminar doesn't get done on its own. Jamin Panchoko in our business is the tech guy. So when we have a financial wellness seminar, the first call we make is, "Hi, Jamin, it's us. Can you help us with technology?" And he says yes or no. And if he says no, then we go to Greg. And if Greg says yes or no, Greg's really a team guy. So it's not about trying to do this all on your own and be great at it. It's really about enhancing your teamwork on your business, building yourself some confidence. You're going to get more licenses because guess what? Chris Royce and Rita Huckle say don't go on these without a securities licensed agent. And I recommend going with a 26 licensed person in case there's more than 5 people at the table, that you have the comfort of having a 26 there for supervisory model. I think it's fantastic too because look, you're gonna create not just an income stream. You're gonna create that licensing stream, that place where people say, I want to be like that. That looks like fun. I could do that. And it creates those passive income for life because we got the 12B1 fees. You keep your licensing up and current. You keep your clientele happy and growing, and they're contributing monthly to their PACs, to their IRAs, to their 401k, whatever it is. Guess what? Your paycheck's going up every year. And Gary always does a great job of teaching PAC Plus. I know there's security. There's security in that. There's security in a great big business and having recruiting opportunities that are consistent. Every time you talk to someone, I know you're happy at your job. Let's hope that they are. And then you say, but what about your spouse? Is your spouse looking for something right now? Over here, enhanced production, increased production, right? You've got people out there every day that are working and opening new markets. Training ground for new people, young people especially. They don't have quite the market that maybe a mature person has. And so they need to be taught, hey, I could do this. I built from nothing. I started with Gary in Modesto. I was a young person. I didn't have a market. I was really at ground zero, and I went out and built and started to connect with people through business cards. You can do that. You can make this a great time, effort, return. I love that I could talk to 12 people in an hour, and thank God Gary taught me that when you talk to 12 people in 1 hour, it's the equivalent of 12 hours of work. Wow, I want that. I want to be more productive with my time. Got more income. I got a balanced business growing because that's a great way that Cheryl's always said, look, you've got to have a balanced business. And I also know with Josh and Tracy, they're always talking about their team and really working with their team. I believe with what Tom brought us, I know Josh was involved. Tom came and spoke to us at one of the securities courses that Lynette put on. I had the opportunity because of Coletta to talk to him an additional time. And what I know is he's always talking about the long-term view. He'll do 401ks, he'll set them up, he's great at it, but you know what? He retains a relationship when those people are relieved of service, retire, or have separation early. Guess what? He rolls the money. He rolls the money out from the 401k into the IRA, and it just blows my mind. And then he says, by the way, where are you working now? And they tell him. And he says, oh, I'll go check them out too. Might as well manage that one. I mean, you know me. I'm pretty good. You can refer me, right? I think it's phenomenal. I think that really, really showed me that I could do this. He was such a blessing. Building a team and just recruiting again. I'm keeping conscious of our time. Building a team and recruiting, creating alliances. This is a word that Frances taught me. Thank God for Frances every day. She taught me about what an alliance is. And one of the very, very first classes I came back to, she said, you know what, you've got to have alliances. You've got to have strategic alliances. And I believe we have that with Cheryl, Lynette. I know that you guys create this for us with Gary and Coletta. It's an opportunity right now for you to go on a recruiting explosion. Here's how you're going to do it. You're going to need a team of people because everyone you're serving needs advice in areas you can't give. You're going to need to have 3 realtors that you get involved in your business right now. You're going to need 3 estate planning attorneys. You're going to go out there, you're going to tell them what you're doing. You're launching a campaign to help business owners in the community, and you need these people in alliance with you that believe that we should better that business community. You need 3 health insurance brokers. That's and you need 3 accountants for tax advice, right? 3 people that do tax advice. That's 12 people, and you need them today. Why 3 each? Because it's a compliance issue that you always refer 3 people. You never refer 1 or 2. You always refer 3 in any given resource category. I don't care if it's painting your house or your car wash in the area. You've got to give 3 to protect yourself that you're properly diversifying in who you're resourcing. Now, you go out, you recruit 3 people, and you say, well, how can I show loyalty? Let me tell you something. You know what? One of them's a boy, one of them's a girl, and one of them speaks Spanish. So you let your client choose who, or let's say you're in a different market. They need to speak Thai. They need to speak Korean. They need to speak French. They need to speak something that you don't speak. And you need to properly diversify. That's how I do it. And I let my client know, look, these are the 3 people that I absolutely am in alliance with. They understand what we're about. You've got to be working with us because I'm about to build something amazing. And if you want to receive recommendations, I highly suggest that you get on board with me and let's go and build together. By the way, you have a database of people that probably need what I do, right or wrong. And if we are involved in work together and you're licensed in every category like I am, well, that's just another income stream. Now, you can see right here, I'm telling you, make sure that you interview these liaisons carefully because you want to make sure you're not lining them up and telling them that they can work with us if they're already outlawed. Maybe they market a product or do a service that isn't allowable by our company. So there's a special place where you can talk to your RVP, and they'll tell you, hey, look, I'm sorry, but these are the rules. If you're going to recruit a health insurance broker, these are the rules they have to sign that they're going to comply with before they can work here. And so that's important that you have that knowledge with you. So when you're interviewing your alliance people, that you really have that set up for them. Prospecting. Okay, so how do you do this? Well, first of all, you got to come from a service mindset. If you come from a sales mindset, it's not going to feel the same. You got to come from, man, I want to help somebody stay in business because when I want yogurt tomorrow and I come down here, I got to make sure these doors are open or I'm not going to get my yogurt. So I come from a position of I'm going to protect this business. I'm going to help it grow. That's my mindset. And by knowing me, they're going to be better, stronger financially than they ever were before. And that's the truth because that's the business we're in. So business to business, you're going to introduce yourself as a fellow business person in the community. Your office is right down the way. You're just letting everyone know that you're in business. By the way, how many employees do you guys have here? They're going to tell you, oh, we got 6, we got 8, or I'm the only owner so far. I just opened up last week. It doesn't really matter. What you're looking at is, okay, in my medicine bag, I don't think a 401k would be appropriate for a one-owner show. I think maybe we should be talking about a simple IRA or maybe a traditional IRA or something else. Do you follow me? So that's how that works. And then you talk about, who are you using? Well, who do you use for your retirement plan, if you don't mind me asking? And they might look at you with a little bit of funny curiosity and say, why do you ask? Well, I'm always surveying who uses who and why. I'm very curious about retirement plans. In fact, I'd just like to know who does yours. It's really about studying and education, because if I know that Fidelity is the only retirement plan, or maybe Wells Fargo, or maybe somebody else out there, I'd like to know why they chose that plan. I'd like to know what they're looking for. How can I serve them? How can I fill a need that perhaps isn't being met yet, or that they didn't know was possible? I'm looking to study where they're at, not attack. I'm looking to study. And then over here, just another question. How do you feel about your tax bill this year? What do you think they're going to say? Oh, I love my taxes. I like to pay extra every year. No, they're going to say, man, rah, 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 rah. And we're going to say, you know what? I'm so glad that you feel the same way I do. And if your tax bill could be less and you worked with your tax provider to work that out and make sure it was correct, would you be happier? Well, absolutely I would. Well, you know what? Would you be even more happy if it didn't cost you a dime to find out what that were possible? Well, that'd be great. Okay, great. Well, I have this afternoon at 6. I see you close at 5. I can come over this afternoon at 6, or would you prefer I drop in on Friday, or I'm sorry, Saturday, whatever day, right? So you want to be conscious when you walk in the door of their hours because you don't want to meet with them while they're working. Looking sharp is important. You are representing the largest, most prestigious financial services organization in North America. Do not, please, please, for the sake of us that do this for a lot of growth, please do not show up in shorts. Don't show up in jeans. I'm not telling you to go out there and cut a check for $1,000 on a suit. What I am saying is put on a little scarf, put on some pretty shoes, not high-end, just look like something sharp, okay? Because you're representing, when you say retirement plan, that's multi-million dollars. Okay, that's a lot of money. So you want to look a little bit pretty or cleaned up or handsome when you walk in the door. Get their attention. Cheryl has the $1 million smile. One day when I grow up, I'm going to have one. But what I know is you just win the day with your smile, the enthusiasm, your confidence in the market. Be calm. If they start attacking about, I don't like the market, just be calm, be smiling. Man, you know what? I can understand that. And here's what I learned. Maybe you'd like to learn this too. You follow it, and you go on to POL. You've got all your materials. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I think Lynette did a fabulous job of really doing that. But here are some resources, some recommendations that I make. I go very light on collateral. Rita Huffle goes very heavy on collateral. Whatever's right for you. I don't like to spend a lot of money on brochures. I like them to see me. I want them to know it's me. It's my team. It's Jennifer. It's Sharon. It's everyone out there. It's Diane Bowman. I want them to see us as the key. So the more collateral you have, I think that's a little bit of a haze when it really should be you that they're after. You've got a little questionnaire. I really want you to use the questionnaires. You've got your workshops. You've got your flyers provided. You've got the right brochures. Just use the stuff the company gives you. And then, you know, you can, my favorite thing is send them to the website. Go to www.primericaworkshops.com. Now, if you don't have that on your business card, I don't know why not, but I love that thing. I think it's the most amazing thing in the world. Even Cheryl's on there. If you can take Cheryl to the table, you know you're going to win. Over here, resources, recommendations. You've got to promote this event. You've got to understand it's going to take about 6 weeks. You've got to understand there's a process to make sure it's promoted effectively. You've got to get good at this. You've got to go out there and practice. You're going to mess it up at first. We get it. So, you know, just smile. Every time you're not comfortable, just smile. Over here, take a securities licensed person with you. You can't be talking about securities and moving money without one. So take one with you. Buddy up with your teammate. Get out there. It's a fabulous opportunity. You're going to need at least 5 attendees to make this thing really rock. So if you're in a business that only has 2 or 3 people, do you tell them, I'm sorry you don't qualify? No, what you say to them is, you know what, I see that you have a growing business, and what I'd like to do is, why don't we sit down after work, why don't we come over here to the coffee shop or something like that, let's have a little chat about what this could look like for you. It's not that you negate them, but if you're looking for this thing to be successful, you really want to have about 5 people in attendance, plus you're pulling in a team of people for technology purposes. You're showing people, hey, this is going to be a successful event. You might be inviting other people as support from your business, you know, your Primerica business. So you want to show them that people show up. That's another thing. Leverage and be careful about the market you're promoting it to and how many people are confirmed to attend. 26 supervisors should be there if you have a group of 5 or more and you're aware of that. Make sure that you've got a 26 license on the floor. That's a very critical thing for the compliance department. And bring some candy with you because sometimes people like chocolate. You know, maybe you don't like chocolate, maybe you're like me or a vanilla person, but hey, guess what? They need that stuff. If you're going to use your iPad, I'm super proud of you, but you've got to have a projector. You've got to have some speakers. You've got to have some surveys pre-printed. You know, you've got to have an extension cord and a power strip. I can't tell you how many times we get somewhere, and we don't have our little our power strip, so we can't plug anything in. And so I just made a checklist because Coletta's the queen of checklisting and says, you know, if you want to relax, you've got to have a checklist. So we have a little checklist, we have a little box, and we have our little, it's called our financial wellness workshop box, and everyone knows what goes in that box, and if something isn't right in that box, we check it before we go. So here it is again, that website I'm definitely telling you to check out. If you haven't gone on there, you've got to go on there. That's where you send the owners that you're prospecting. That's where you tell them to go and look, this is what we're doing, this is what people like. It's got everything on there for you. If you're not good at it, you just pull that website up. This is what I'm talking about. Click the button. It plays. They look at you. It sounds good. I think so too. When would you like to schedule? You might not have never done this before, and that's okay, but you know what? That little website makes you look like $1 million, and I think you should use it. Build a team. Be involved in the discussion. Remember, you've got to go recruiting. You've got 12 people you need to get involved in your business, and you better do it right now so you can definitely be out there and grow this. You're going to build a relationship for recommendations from them. You're going to build a future company for yourself. It's going to be amazing. You're going to grow your recruiting. Your licenses are going to grow. Your assets under management are going to grow. You're going to become an RVP. You're going to become an NSD. And you know what? You're really going to be a great part of creating a better economy for everyone. And I couldn't be more proud to be in business with you. And thank you, Cheryl, for this incredible opportunity.
Man, Michelle, you have hit it out of the ballpark. We have like 80 people in attendance. We usually have, when I train, we got about 45 or 50 or so. And so that's how important this is to everybody in the hierarchy. Lynette Curie, I've got you unmuted. Are you there, Lynette?
Yes, Cheryl, can you hear me?
I sure can, loud and clear. Are you proud or what?
I'll tell you what, here's a note I wrote down to make sure that I said, Michelle, you are the player I have always wanted to coach. You're the one that, you've taken the ball and you're running with it. What I hear, and congratulations, it was a great presentation and well put together. You've taken the basics to the next level. I mean, we talked about the basics a few weeks ago. We've done that a couple of times, but you have thought this through so carefully and thoughtfully that anybody could go ahead and get this thing started. What I see is you have crystallized your business philosophy. You know what you want to get done, and you've put it together so that it will get done. And you've taken a unique opportunity in the financial wellness program, and I know that you've been working on it for years, but now that the company's backing you with the resources, you're just going to take this thing through the roof. And I'm hoping a lot of other people catch on to what you've just done. It's a great opportunity for both the employer and the employees and for your team to make something happen. I can't say enough about how excited about hearing what you've just done, Michelle, and you're going to go big time, girl.
Thank you, Lynette. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and I just know how much you've always held Lynette in such high esteem, and she's made, such a huge contribution. And so, you want to be like Lynette when you grow up, and I'll tell you what, you're on your way. The thing that I'd like to make a couple of comments on, that for sure I'd like to hear from Gary, Michelle, is that, I have always believed that we're a warm market business. And what you're doing is you're just, the reason that it's so crystal clear, the reason that you're doing as well is because you didn't try to read about it or flip art about it. You jumped in and started doing them, and you're using that, you're really using the, the natural market. Like people can start with anybody that they know, whether it's, family, friends, people they work with, all that kind of thing. They can go on ahead and start there by asking and networking, and then their natural market, if they're a nurse, going out to different nurses associations, because that's the natural market, and then the referral market, where you're using this and going on ahead and getting referrals. And I love your concept of having 3 of each professional that you can go on ahead and recommend, and asking people if they want to be on the preferred list, and come in and build that alliance with you. You can't do anything but strengthen them. And I just, so I'm very excited about that. And the thing that I know in doing this, it's a wonderful way to prospect, because instead of, and I'm not saying stop doing, if you're out prospecting, I'm not saying stop that, but in addition to what you're doing, you get these little lunch and learns or financial wellness or whatever you want to call them, it puts you in the position of authority. You're the expert, and now exactly right, talking to 12 people at once is like working 12 hours is very important. The thing that I was very apparent to me is the power of the team. See, the power of the team is really the power of the dream for us. If you look at all the different leaders that have influenced, Michelle and what, she is growing into, a very strong leader, today, but certainly Gary and Coletta, just their relationship and the time that they spend driving up and working with you and your team and on calls and training and all like that have been huge. Lynette, and I know that you spent a lot of time, you sought her out, and when you come to like the annual security summit, then you would listen, take notes, and then go and apply, actually do, what was happening there. Tomamini Crosby, I know that you'd mentioned had helped you with that. Francis, Chris Royce, Rita Huckle, all these people have really had an influence, and so the community of Primerica is something that you've leveraged in to your resources, to your philosophy, and you've put that into action. You've gone into action with it, and I just have a lot of respect and admiration for not just what you've done, but what you're doing. As I look, we talk about embrace the future of Primerica, using the one-stop financial shop to open new markets, to get more people. I mean, you have more people getting securities license because they see that there's a way to get results, and really collapse time frames. And so I'm super proud of you, and I'm very excited about this. We'll send this out. We're going to email this out to everybody as soon as we're done here. It'll also be at bartlettchampions.com, which, by the way, if you guys haven't gone to www.bartlettchampions.com, we really went in and cleaned that up and took a lot of the dated material out, so it's real easy for you to get to, to the different sections, and there are great resources on that too. So we'll have this in our security section. Gary Martin.
Hey, good morning.
You must be just popping buttons over there right now. You're so proud.
Coletta and I are here, and it's pretty amazing. I know. One of the things I'd like to comment, first of all, what Lynette said is right on. The player that every coach dreams of being able to coach. Coletta and I can't take any credit at all for what Michelle has done. We've been there to answer questions and give her some direction. But, Cheryl, you can't coach desire. Desire comes from within a person. Art always told us you could never measure the heart of a man or a woman, that there's never been a test designed ever to measure the heart of a man or a woman. And she works with tremendous heart. She works with tremendous passion. And she is a student. She's a student of the business. And often she'll bring up questions. She'll ask me questions that are so far above anything I know that I have to say, I don't know. You need to do a little more research to get the answer to that question. It just is she really is a consummate professional. And I just want to note here that she had, not only is she series, she's fully securities licensed. She has Sharon on her team that's 6 and 63 licensed, Domin, Greg, Tatiana, Jennifer that also has a 26 license. Monica just passed her 6 and will have her 63 done before the month is over. And then she has 3 other people that have committed to have their securities license passed before the middle of April, and that's Diane, Alice, and Jacqueline. And people, you're absolutely right. People on her team see the benefit of getting a securities license, and also see it getting fully licensed and following up and getting their 26 right away, and to put themselves in position to be an RVP. Cheryl, this really is an NSD team in the making. It's going to happen. People are looking for people that want to get fully licensed, that want to do this. Jennifer just recruited a real estate agent that in the past has run seminars with 70 to 80 real estate agents, hasn't done it in a couple of years, and I was on the phone with him the other day, and he wanted to know if he could reinstitute those having Primerica be, in the core, and again, teamwork. I'll probably be there to do some of those, and that's part of building Michelle's team through Jennifer and other people. And it just is and again, had she not had the culture of getting in front of groups, this would not have happened. And I'd also like to reiterate that, she started this process doing How Money Works seminars and lunch and learns long before we had anything and any support from the company at all. And so what she's been able to do is build her knowledge base by grinding it out. And you're not going to get as good as Michelle until you have the willingness to grind it out. The beauty today is you don't have to be creative, but you really should talk to 12 people an hour. And by the way, if you talk to 12 people an hour for 10 hours a day, that's like working 120 days. And so, just go make it happen. And Michelle, I am extremely proud of you. I couldn't be a prouder papa. And I know we share the last name. And you're not our biological daughter, nor are you legally adopted. But let me tell you something. Your solution number is mine, baby. And I own it. And that's the way it is. I don't own you, but I own your solution number. And God bless America, and God bless Primerica. Cheryl, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You bet, Gary. Hey, so what I want to do is we'll go on ahead and we'll send this out. The thing that's so good about, Michelle had to go in and sort of forge the way with some of the pioneers on these lunch and learns and all like that. So for those of you who don't have the time and experience, you got to grind it out, but they've just put you on a super highway. You're going to be able, your learning curve is going to be much faster. Your results will probably come faster, one, because Michelle's done such a great job here this morning, but also because you've got a world-class resources at the Download Center. You just go to the Financial Wellness Seminar, you go to the Download Center, and the right column there is the Financial Wellness Seminar, and everything is there, so you can do what Michelle and some of our other people have done to use that. All right, Michelle, you're the rock star, girl.
Thank you so much. I had a great time. This is a blessing.
You did a great job. Thanks a lot, everybody. Bye-bye.